Hello, guys. My name is Pedro, and I want to keep this short because Maurycy is going to be taking us on a bit of a ride. So, in today's Layer Explorer, we have Maurycy, an incredible background artist with a very peculiar origin story of how he got into the industry. But I'm not gonna get into more details because you're gonna have to watch the episode. So yeah, start the episode.
Welcome to Layer Explorer, everyone. This is the interview series where I get to invite my favorite artists and watch them unpeel their paintings and to get to see the insides of their Photoshop files while they talk about it and while they talk about what their advice and what their career and what their method is. Today with us we have Maurycy. We had a chance to work together when I was working in Dublin, and I mean, I've been seeing Maurycy's paintings since we worked together, and they are absolutely amazing. I think you also have like quite a non-typical route into the animation world, so I'm curious to explore that while in this conversation. But yeah, do you want to present yourself?
Hi. So my name is Maurycy, and I'm a set designer, visual development artist, background painter, layout artist, and a lot of other additional stuff that I'm just trying to do. And I mostly work in animation or illustration jobs. So that's kind of what I do at the moment. I'm also a person that tries to explore more. So I always try to keep some personal projects like short films or some illustration ideas in the back just to keep me running. Yeah, that's thing.
Just before we started recording this, Maurycy was telling me that he's trying to... No, not that he's trying to. He directed an 8-minute short by himself within a month. So when he says some personal projects, he means some personal projects here. Like this is some crazy shit. I see you posting every now and then the paintings. Do you have like a common thread, or like, okay, I'm going to be exploring this, I'm going to be trying this new technique, or there's this story you want to be covering, or you said you want to get more into short films, so do you do more like concept art for your stories? Like what guides your personal projects?
So for personal stuff, it's usually the idea. Recently, I'm very like what you can see mostly probably from my paintings. I'm mostly influenced by anime. So, and a lot of those anime that have this slice of life, modern life, Japan, or romance or something like this. So it's very heartful stories. Of course, there's like the Studio Ghibli, but there's also Makoto Shinkai or Matsumoto Honoda. Sorry. So this kind of directors inspire me recently to just push into this way and to tell more stories with like emotional impact. Not very dark stories, but kind of like trying to reach those heartful and like pleasant moments.
Nice.
So that's my inspiration at the moment for the short film or for my own illustrations.
It's something that I see in the slice of life stories. I guess I saw it a little bit in the season 2 or JJK's. Like they go like really realistic with the rendering. Do you feel that too? It's like,
I think it depends on who does it.
Okay.
Because some of them are like can keep the real. You mean the backgrounds or like the in general?
If I think about Jujutsu Kaisen or like other slice of life, I mean Jujutsu Kaisen is not a slice of life, but like other like a slice of life like anime, I like the backgrounds, the highlights, the shininess. So like I can see like it rained and then you see all these kind of surfaces shining and there's so much detail in the backgrounds. I think it's mostly in the backgrounds.
Definitely, but it really depends on I think the anime, because there's gonna be anime coming out about like I think 3 girls living in a city just doing some casual stuff. It's called city animation or something like this.
Okay.
And the backgrounds are line art with like flat colors.
Oh, okay.
So it's totally different way.
Yeah.
So I think it really depends. Like Makoto Shinkai always has like very elaborate detailed backgrounds. It's the guy behind the Suzume or Your Name movies, so they are super precise. But then again, if you look at the movie Look Back, it's a bit different. It's have a different style. Even the characters look totally like more rough, I would say.
Interesting. And you get inspired by the more detailed ones, by the more rough ones. Which one is like the one that you take inspiration from? I mean, maybe probably both.
Yeah, I get inspired by the stories and how they're told and what they present. And after that, I just try to translate the inspiration to the styles I work in. It's funny because I work more in a graphic style. Like my main inspirations was like, Link, Alberto Mielgo, La Pinta. So this kind of very graphic, realistic artists. So now I have this clash of like graphic art that I do with like this full colors and like this anime vibes that I try to present. So
interesting. Okay. And for this episode, we are doing a double trouble where we have two different paintings. I think Maurycy said 2 different paintings with 2 different approaches. Those are the 2 ones that we ended up choosing, right?
Yes.
This is one of them. And can you show us the second one?
Sure.
Yeah.
This is the second one.
And this is the second one. We're going to start with all the layers turned off. And then layer by layer, we're going to turn them on slowly and reveal the final painting, which is probably what you're looking at right now.
Yes.
And yeah, let's get to it. Here we are back now with our white canvas. Tell us your process. How did you start?
So I always, of course, start with an idea. So that's like obvious. It can be something I see and I take a picture of it. It's something that inspires me on the internet or like I hear a story or something like that. So I always try to start with gathering the mood boards, gathering the references, and gathering my idea. Because those are personal paintings, it's more straightforward. Like I have an idea, I just go for it. I don't do explorations.
Nice.
Because every painting is still a practice for me. So even if it ends up like not being too good, I just have something that I trained and just move forward. With, of course, client work, I do explorations and like I search for stuff and everything like that. So I always start with a sketch. So here is the sketch of the painting. Sometimes I put it just on one layer. Sometimes I have it on a few layers. It depends what I need. And when I have the sketch finished, I try to keep it as clean as possible.
So did you go straight to this sketch? Like, did you do some sort of like smaller thumbnail? You straight away drew what we can see?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Because for me, this is like a rendered sketch. Like my sketch, my first thumbnails do not look like this. This is very clean to me.
Oh yeah, I have a tendency of keeping it very clean, but that may come from sketching with the pens in sketchbooks. So you don't have like Control-Z and it's just one line and done.
Yeah.
So it might come from this. Also, I have a tattoo background and I did a lot of lines on people that move. And I needed to nail them the first time. And they need to be straight very often.
How did you get into the animation industry?
So, well, generally I come from a tattoo industry background. And I've been tattooing since I was like 21. That's when I started. So that's when I decided I want to be a creative person. And I just started. I skipped my university. Just went for tattooing. Don't do that. But the thing is like, I was tattooing for 14 years.
Wow.
So I managed to establish myself, like find a lot of clients, open a studio, live like just from tattooing, travel a lot of places in the world.
And you were drawing a lot, right? I mean, I imagine you were drawing or sketching and...
I was trying to the funny part is like I went for tattooing because I wanted to become a better artist. And I had no idea a concept art existed by then.
What? Okay.
So that was something I saw first when people actually live from drawing their own stuff. And I was like, yes, I'm going to go for this because then I can explore and become better.
Right.
So that's how I started tattooing. And I shifted my styles in tattooing many times. I went from realistic portraits to like very Art Nouveau, Alphonse Mucha styles to like very comic look things, like black with outlines and everything like that. That's where I learned a bit of colors, a bit of like how to approach. But I think the biggest skill from tattooing was soft skills.
Tell me about it.
Because you meet a person every day, a stranger comes to you, you sit together and you work with him for like 6 to 12 hours while he's in pain. And you need to comfort him. You need to find a topic to chat with them. Or you need to understand they want to just be quiet or listen to their own stuff, and you just need to accept it. And, you know, there's also a lot of empathy and stuff like that. So it really helps managing. And that's where I learned all the skills to help teach people, explain stuff.
Do you have any funny story that you could share, like a story that stayed in your mind from something that happened while you were tattooing?
The funny part is like your like barrier of what is like weird and not moves a lot while you're doing it. It's hard for me to say like crazy stories.
Yeah.
Because I kind of got used to them, I think.
Fair enough.
But there is a lot of crazy stuff going.
I can imagine. 14 years, you must have like experienced a lot.
Oh yeah, I've made like thousands of tattoos.
Yeah.
And I was going from like small designs that I started to go like bigger, where in the end I was literally working like a full back piece for arm, for leg. So it's like those huge, massive designs to do.
How was the gradient between you were doing this for 14 years and then now you're working in the animation industry?
So after 14 years, I kind of established, like I established myself earlier. Like I managed to gain a lot and I was very happy with what I had. But the thing that was bothering me was like tattooing can be pretty limiting to a place on a skin. So it's always closed composition. It's something that needs to survive the test of time. So you cannot do anything you want. And also it's just like half of this job is design because you draw the design and everything. But the other half is like craftsmanship because you just reproduce the design on the skin. And very often you have like this this stencil stuff. So it's way easier to reproduce it on the skin, obviously. So it's kind of like most of my time I spend it on being a craftsman than actually just doing like art. And I felt I wanted to change it. I want to explore more artistic stuff and do something more with art. But I had no idea where to look. Then I stumbled upon some friends that, I stumbled upon a person working in CD Projekt Red. They were working on Witcher 3.
Okay.
He was a quest designer there.
Okay.
And we started to chat and he said all about, you know, the concepts, the stuff they do. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense because I was playing a lot of games by that time. I was like, yeah, makes sense that it comes from somewhere. So I started getting into it.
And this was in Poland, right? All of this happened in Poland. Okay.
Yes. And at some point he told me there's like a festival called Promised Land in Poland, in my city, where artists gather from industry, from game and animation industry, and just have workshops or seminars or something like that. So I managed to get my ticket in and I managed to get in there. And I was totally newbie Like I had people come there with portfolio to show like, you know, great artists, just like, oh, this is my portfolio. Can you give me any feedback on it? And I was just like, hello, what am I doing here? I had nothing.
Wow.
But this is the moment where something clicked, because I understood this is the world I would like to be in. So that was the moment I was like, okay, so I can learn more art here and express more and just, you know, expand the skills. So after this festival, I promised myself I want to learn and move to concept art. I didn't think about animation because in Poland there was no animation. There still isn't a lot of animation studios, so it's mostly games. So I was thinking, okay, concept art, all that stuff. I decided that I want to shift in few years. I was trying to learn by myself some stuff, but I had no idea where to search, like, and how to approach it. And year passed because I was still doing a lot of tattooing and all that stuff. And I went for another promised land. And then I saw it from a different angle because I was trying to get into industry. So I was starting to search, talk with people, learn stuff from them. Actually, I went for those workshops and I kind of understood a bit of more, because the first time I was just like sitting like just watching. Yes. I had no idea what's happening.
Yeah. It's the first time that you see like the kind of what's behind all of these things that have been around us the whole time. Yeah, I get that.
And the thing is, I started to understand it better. So when I came back, I decided I'm just gonna move quicker with it.
Okay.
So I decided to find courses that I can actually take with feedback and just start from there. That's how I founded CGMI. And that's how I started with courses from there. I did 3 of them. And the funny part is, like, in tattooing, I was mostly tattooing faces, characters, monsters, organic, like, but not environments. I never touched environments. In the CGMI courses, I picked only environments. I always felt some love to them in concept arts, but that was like very funny because I had some experience in drawing people, and I just went straight, like I threw it out of the window and it just went straight for something I never did in my life.
I had a similar thing actually. I thought I would go more into characters, but then I ended up going toward backgrounds in my first year of uni. I think that's when I made that shift to like focus more on the background part.
Yeah, I think also it can come from, actually with the backgrounds, it's more world building than just a single character in a pose, because that's a moment. Yeah. So a character in a pose is just representing one moment of something. He's running, he's throwing, whatever. When you actually have backgrounds, even with characters or without, they tell more. They show like the lore, they show the landscape, they show like the world, that something is happening in it.
Yeah.
And if you can do it emotionally with the backgrounds, then you just put in characters that actually live in there, and you actually think about it, who's gonna live there when you're doing or designing like houses or like backgrounds or anything. You just think actually about the people there, not only about the place.
Yeah.
So I think that's what makes me interested in short films, and you being a director, because coming from backgrounds, you already are world building.
Yeah, I do love world building. That makes sense. That's why I'm a One Piece type of guy, you know, like that world building kills me. It's a
that's so true.
But okay, so we're looking at this sketch. What was the next stage?
So after I have a sketch, I usually have it on multiply, because that's how I can just paint over. And I always drop down the opacity so I can just paint under it. So I'm just gonna start with like all the layers and turn off the sketch. I usually start with the background. So I start with the sky or something. I go from back to front, kind of.
Interesting. That's so funny because like in most of the interviews before this, the people start with a bottom layer, which is always the sky or the background. But like there's always this kind of note of like, okay, we are starting from the sky, but this does not reflect chronologically how this painting was made, because nobody just starts with the sky, they say. And then it's like, no, you're starting with the sky. Okay, so
Yes.
you're like the exception so far. The first one that.
I always go from back, like the least detailed stuff, to front, because for me, the focus point is the most like precise and refined. So I can test everything and mess up everything with those simple layers. I can search for colors. I can mess up with them. But when I start with like a very important subject and I start to fight it, not understanding what I actually want to do with the painting, this is gonna give me like an issue, because I'm just gonna get stuck on it. And also, the farther layers are quicker to do, and the color always works in context.
Yeah,
so,
that's important. Yeah.
So yeah, I always start with the skies, and then I added the layer of the clouds that are in the farthest back. After I block out one of the elements, I block out the other ones. So here are the bridge that's going to be in the background.
And all of this is done on top of the sketch. So it looks kind of random right now, but you knew exactly where you were placing it because you've already approved the sketch stage.
That's how it looks with the sketch.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, I can skip the sketch for a second just to show the blockouts.
Yeah. I guess it reflects well your method. You would have done this stage, the sketch like this.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So after this, I do a blockouts of the buildings, each having its separate layers, so I can actually control them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll do the same.
And after that, I have a blockout of the character. So after more or less this, I just turn off the sketch, and if I have all the information I need, I just move forward with the layers. So going back to the clouds now, that's how I approach the clouds.
Mm-hmm.
So I just did like some light on top of them, just to explore how I want to approach it. And I just build up layer by layer. Sometimes I do it on the same layers. Sometimes I keep separate layers just to have more control. Especially when I'm not sure about something, if it's going to work or not, then it's easier for me to just turn off the layers instead of just like repaint stuff. So here you can see the
would
light.
You say that before you rendered the buildings further than what you've done now, you took the clouds up to this level of rendering? Does that reflect more or less how chronologically you approached it?
In this example, actually, the clouds came last.
Yeah, wow. Okay. Interesting.
Because that was the most, for me, the character and the clouds were the important part.
Yeah.
So I first done the bridge, then the buildings, and at the end I did the character and the clouds because I wanted them to feel this certain way.
Okay.
So that's how I finished with the clouds. I added some more layers back because I was feeling that there's lacking like any city in there. So this wasn't something on the sketch, but I just go like, okay, so I need to refine this part. So I just added something that I can push, that something actually is happening there. And after this, I recolored the bridge
Okay.
So because it was too light compared to the sky and the clouds, I'm also very often checking the values.
Okay.
So there's a shortcut for it. I use Control U, and you can literally just do this. Sorry, it's the Control Y. I just mispronounced
It's
the
Control
letter.
Y. Okay.
Yeah.
So literally,
because
the first time I hear about this, I hear it from two different people in the same day.
Okay.
That's such a funny coincidence.
Then I did the buildings. So the one on the left.
Mm-hmm.
So adding some details, some windows, and I actually keep them on sometimes I just keep them on the one layer and just paint over it. I very often use clipping mask.
Yeah,
what
me
helps
too.
me keep it to the shape, as well as alpha lock
Yeah.
would help also paint inside the shapes. So this is my biggest go-to.
It looks very rendered, but it's done with very simple but like technically and precise decisions of like, okay, you just add a couple of shapes there and a couple of shapes there and a gradient. So cool.
I very often use like 3 brushes, and 2 of them are like circle and square opacity full, like.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, I always try to simplify stuff. Okay, so after that I went with the buildings on the right. So just building some base, and then I actually did the side of it, so there's something happening there.
And you are deciding on these colors like on the go, like that?
No, I always have like references where I want to aim. It's not like precise color of the references, but it's kind of like, okay, I want to have this kind of vibe, because these colors are kind of unnatural. Like if you see this, the clouds are lighter than the sky, where usually it doesn't happen that often. But I just wanted to push it. I just wanted to make the sky that pure blue.
Yeah.
Very saturated, because that was my idea. Because the most important part is like holding values, and the colors are for emotional impact.
Yeah.
So you don't think, I try not to think as for them as like, oh, the apple is red. I'm just thinking about, okay, what I want to like emotionally tell. If it's like something other, I may make the apple blue, because it's going to be a bigger impact of that cold.
Yeah.
So you can actually switch the colors to very abstract ones.
Amazing, yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
So adding a bit more details just to keep, and the roof. I'm also thinking about bounce light and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, the shadow is going to be warmer in this case, especially on the side of the buildings, but like some of the parts need to be reflecting that blue sky. So that's also where the colors come from. And just adding some super small details on the bottom.
Very nice, yeah.
And the last building, just some windows, some details. So as soon as I have this, I move to the character. Here, actually, this part with blues is kind of rendered already, but it was like just pure one color. I just block out my character from the sketch.
Yeah.
And then I add layers and paint over it to make all the needed layers. And usually one of the layers I just start using. So this was her shirt color. So I just added those layers. And we have the character with like small stuff. Also interesting thing is I'm not the best character artist and that stuff. So I usually leave characters till the end. I have a bit of understanding the environment I want to go.
Okay.
And very often I paint them flat. colors more or less, and then adjust to fit the backgrounds. So after that, I just built shadows on the character, so make her match the background. So I
Yeah.
just do the multiply
Oh
layer.
wow, it's that multiply layer is always like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's like, okay, I see it.
it's a cherry on the top.
Yeah, gorgeous.
And from there, I actually start to think what I want to achieve. If there's something I need to push back or bring forward or add more light. So those are all the adjustment layers that actually happen.
Right.
So the clouds were finished by this moment. So I just started to adjust the bridge and the background just to be more warmer in tones.
Mm-hmm.
And some blue just to push it backward.
Yeah, make the character stand out.
Yeah. Then I did the same with the buildings. So I just started to add, because I did the clouds last because they kind of defined the light.
Yeah.
So that's after this, I started to adjust the buildings to match everything. And just also push it a bit back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So a bit of light. Here's like a bit of overlay to just change a bit of colors in the shadows.
Gorgeous. Yeah. Very nice.
And just on the top, it's like a hard layer that actually gives like a bit of ambient light.
Yeah.
And that's for the image. But after that, what I do is like I merge it.
Yeah.
And after this, I duplicate the layer and give it, it's in filter, others, and there's like high pass.
Mm-hmm.
So high pass brings up a bit of crisp in the image. So it's kind of like, and I just lowered the opacity, but you can see it kind of like makes it sharp. It's very subtle, but you can see it when it's like very close to the screen. It's like you can see this kind of elements.
I see. Okay. Can you zoom in on that element that you just pointed out? Maybe you will. Yes. Definitely.
So you can see how it actually pulls out.
Yeah.
And after that, I just add noise on top. Just merge the image and add noise.
Amazing. Cool.
And then it's done.
Wow. It's just like, I feel like the way the rendering happened, it was like it started very quickly, and then you spent a lot of time just on these highlights that add that final to it, you know?
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. Yeah. I mean, the painting looks amazing. Like you showed, that was my favorite one of the ones that you weren't sure which one to present. But we have a double trouble today. We have another painting that you want to show with a different method. So should we advance to that second one?
Sure.
Okay, so now we are beginning with the second painting. And I realized that you didn't actually finish your story with the tattooing. You've kind of told us the beginning of the journey, the beginning of the decision making, and then the training started. But then how did you actually get into animation? Because you're not in video games right now, you are in animation. So how did that happen?
So when I finished like my courses, I kind of had a gist of how to approach stuff. Also, the funny part is like the instructors were mixed of people working in animation and in games. So they kind of guided mentees like through all the process that is used here and here. So after I finished this, I was decided that I'm gonna switch for like the game industry at the end of the year, or like something at the end of the year or next year. But at that time, something happened to the studio where I was working, and I needed to change the studio. So because I was an owner of a studio, but I gave that up and moved to work for someone. It just was easier with like paperwork and stuff. So I was like, okay, so if this shift is happening, maybe I'm just gonna start searching for job for games now. And it was middle of the year, I would say.
And which year was this?
It was 2019.
Okay.
So I managed to start tattooing a bit less, like 3 days a week, and then spent the rest of the week doing my portfolio and anything I wanted to learn more.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent like a few months doing that. And the studio change was at the beginning of the year. So I spent like a few months of that. It was like mid of the year by then. And a friend called me like on Instagram, and he told me, listen, I've noticed there's a studio in Dublin looking for designers. And I was speaking with him a while before that. And I was like, okay, I just applied, like without thinking anything. I just applied the same day. It was evening. He sent it me. So I sent my portfolio, I sent my CV, all that stuff. My CV was only like, I was tattooing. Cool.
Wow.
I did a bit of freelance for a board game, but that was just the maximum I had. And it was like, just make us few illustrations, done.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, it was even those illustrations on tiles. So you have from top view. So it's not very like a proper card game or something. But that was the only thing I had in CV. Nothing else. Like I didn't work in any industries else. So it's like I was tattooing 14 years and did like few cards for the game. Done.
Wow. Okay.
And the funny part is like the next day I woke up, I was like, what the hell did I do? I just realized that I just applied for work. So I think a month passed and they contacted me back. And they was like, we want to do an interview with you.
I can't imagine what you must have been feeling like. What is this actually happening?
Exactly. And the funniest part is like we managed to set the interview and it was already about starting COVID, like in the middle of the year. So then COVID broke out. Mm-hmm. All the tattoo studios closed. And I just did my job interview and landed a job remotely because they couldn't transfer me because it was COVID in Ireland as well.
That was perfect timing then. Wow.
And a lot of people struggled because they couldn't tattoo during COVID. So it was like few years without job.
Yeah.
And I just moved to animation because the studio was doing animation. That's where we met.
That was such a lucky,
it was
a lucky move. Like at least half of the people in these interviews, they did not have the expected trajectory, that the expected kind of route that you would guess a person in the animation industry has. The world is changing. And that's good.
But also what I did is like a lot of people told me how to approach portfolio. Like, do it for the company, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, I'm just going to do my stuff.
Wow.
And somehow, I don't know, maybe that worked.
Yeah,
I just went against that rules.
Your stuff is incredible. So whatever you did well. Whatever courses you did well. All those hours paid off because your paintings are amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, tell us about the second painting. This is a different approach. You already have all the layers off. Did you start? We're gonna start with sketch or?
Yes, I always start with a sketch. So I sketched this. So I also had some perspective grids to help me. So it's not like, it comes from thin air. Very often I don't use perspectives for sketches, but sometimes it's like stairs or, this kind of very dependent on perspective. It's easy to just break those. So I do the same thing. I just lowered the opacity. But with this painting, the different approach is I started with the background. And here I already cut out the window because I wanted the window to be on a different layer. So here is the window layer.
Mm-hmm.
So I started with the general color with some possible color dynamics just to give it a bit of... In the previous, I had an idea how I want to do the colors. With this one, I was like, I'm just going to keep it flat and then I'm just actually going to change it. So this is something I tend to do also in production because it's very easy to shift from day to night and stuff like this. So I started, like you see, with the walls, with the small details, just filling out the basic colors.
Yeah.
Here are the stairs. And I did some small objects.
Cool.
So I just shifted the colors of the windows. So the outside's going to be different.
Yeah. I feel that people underestimate how visually strong it is to change the color of the sky.
Oh,
like,
yes.
You change the color of the sky, the whole feeling changes. Like, you just, like, I know that that's the sky. It's just two tiny little squares there. But you change that color, I'm like, if this was a shonen, that means there's some very strong motherfucker doing a very powerful attack outside. And you cannot, and like, the attack is just about to come into the shot or something, like.
That's so true.
Yeah, but sorry. Okay, so you changed the color of the sky.
And after that, I just finished the character. So I did the block out of him. And just layer by layer, I added a bit of shadows. This is kind of like ambient occlusion. So I don't try to make the shadows for light. I just try to make the shadows that's going to be whatever's going to happen. So it's kind of the darkest parts and stuff like this.
Interesting.
So just layer by layer, adding a bit of...
sculpting the character.
Yes.
Wow.
And there was also the mug. So I just added those. So now I actually started going with light and shadow.
Okay.
So this is a different, it's like, because I didn't play with colors here, I'm just going to play more with them in the filter layers. So I started with like a shadow.
Yeah.
I usually start with the shadow on everything. So this is the character, and I use the mask just to cut out the light that's going to happen there. So after this, I just start to, let's say, refine the background little by little, just adding more shadows. So like just darkening stuff, adding different layers of shadows here and there. Just the character on the stairs, the drop shadows, just to make the windows pop up more. This is for just changing to more purplish colors. And this is the shadow of the rails. And the same way I just move with the lights. So I just have layers below that are the kind of shadow layers. And on top, I usually start with like light layers. So just adding a bit of... This is actually the same layer, it's just blurred.
Yeah, I do that too.
And also, if you cut out the shadows with the mask, I very often just like select the mask and just invert it and start painting the light.
Mm.
And after this, I can some small adjustments. And I did do the same with the character, so adding a bit more lights, a bit more shadows here, a small detail. And after I'm done with this, I just throw a bit on top that actually just gonna harmonize the layers.
Mm-hmm.
So a bit of bloom, some effects. And that's how it came to be.
Wow. I was following you in these like block layers, and then out of nowhere, it's like fully rendered, like right in front of me. And I'm looking at the layers being turned on, but it was just like the process, like each step, it contains more and more information, like as it goes forward. Yeah, so cool. Just how it starts very slow, and then just like it's rendered.
Yeah, it takes a bit of patience at the beginning just to block out stuff and understand the simplicity, how you can simplify stuff.
Yeah.
But after this, you get to those parts where actually you start to add those shadows, those colors, and it just starts getting more fun and more experimental as well.
Nice. Very nice.
And with this kind of approach, it's good because you can literally, I could sit down, delete all the layers that are like shadow and color and light, and just reconstruct them, but differently.
Yeah.
I could make it a rainy day. I could make it like a sunny day, or like
nighttime with artificial
nighttime,
lights.
everything.
Yeah, I really like that. And it's one of the things that with my students is like, first, if it's not the second portfolio piece, I'm like, let's draw like these kind of local colors, blocking it out. And then I want to have a daylight, maybe like around 12 o'clock. Sun is high in the sky, painting, and then let's do a nighttime. And I want to see you solving the problems of both of them in the same framing, same painting. How are you gonna make these two paintings work? I think it's such an incredible exercise, and it's also like it looks very good in the portfolio to do these kind of exercises too. Thank you so much for this. Thank you so much for taking the time for this interview. I really messaged you, and with such like short notice, you brought up these paintings and this amazing presentation, and I hope everybody that watches this takes a lot of value from this conversation. I certainly did, especially a good reminder of that Control Y shortcut that I'm definitely gonna be using it from now on. Tell us what you're up to at the moment. Tell us any ideas, any projects you have in the future. How can people find you? Tell us.
So first of all, thanks for having me. It's been a pure pleasure. So it's really like I always was following you and being inspired by you. So it's really like means a lot to me.
Thank you.
You can always find me on Instagram by a story traveler. It's usually I have a cat, some kind of cat in my avatar. Like
nice.
I'm very fond of them, as you can notice. Like
you said you're planning like a short film now. Tell us more about that.
I'm actually in the just beginning. So recently I just jumped because I always like to test stuff. I always like to learn new stuff. So I already did like short animation in Blender with a team. Actually, I was helping them. I also did a short animation in Unreal Engine. So I kind of explored a bit of 3D animation.
Nice.
So after that, I decided now it's time to learn 2D animation.
Okay.
So I don't know. I just have this that I learn something and just leave it after I do it and move to something else. I don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure it's transferable. I'm like it's all that you've been learning is very much transferable.
A bit, yes, definitely. So I'm kind of like learning. For a while, I was learning like 2D animation recently. So I want to make a short film 2D animated by myself. I'm also learning a bit of music composing. So yeah, I even have a few instruments at home now.
Amazing.
I was doing concerts, stuff like that as well. So music was a big part of my life as well. So
wow, amazing. Yeah, that's the directing part. If you're trying to, I guess, like if you're getting to directing, the fact that you are so comfortable and that you are curious and that you're so like understanding of all of the different areas of making a film, that means your vision will be very clear in all of these fronts. Because I feel like music is definitely my weakness. Like I've been learning music for the past 2-3 years now, but I'm still absolutely shy at it. But like I can talk it a little bit more. I can hear certain things. I can communicate it better if I'm working with musicians now. So it really, that's a recipe for amazing stuff to come out. I'm curious to see what you're gonna what's this
Thanks.
2D short film gonna be about.
Yeah, so probably it's gonna be something more personal. So I just have some stories I think I want to tell, but I'm just starting to write it down just to explore it. So it's something I recently begun. But I want to also do some short videos with animation. So I'm just gonna explore here. I'm just gonna do the short. But yeah, I just try to keep myself busy, I would say, and not give away to anything that's happening outside. Just make my own stuff.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's it, guys. Maurycy, I'm going to be dropping all of the links there. You guys should check his work out. It's amazing. This is just a little, very tiny window into the brilliant paintings that he's been doing for many, many years. And yeah, thank you so much. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.